Hey, it's Logan Christopher from Lost Empire Herbs, and today I want to dive into the second ever human trial on pine pollen, looking specifically at hormone health. We just got this back last month, and I have to say this is actually more exciting than the initial trial. I mean, the first one was exciting because it was the first human one, first time we had done anything like that, but this one actually clues us into some of the mechanisms by which pine pollen, specifically the pine pollen tincture, works. So in that first trial, which there's another video where I go over that, we were looking at older men and total testosterone using the pine pollen tincture just as recommended. And we did see an increase in total testosterone and then definite improvements in symptomology associated with that. But in this one, we were looking at younger guys. So this was ages 25 to 50. 14 subjects started in it, 11 completed, which is pretty standard for a trial. But this time we looked at not only total testosterone, but sex or steroid hormone binding globulin. If you don't know what that is, that's a protein that essentially binds onto the testosterone as well as other hormones that can do this as well. And the general idea is that it renders them inert. That's not the full picture. There actually is some uses of it. But overall, a testosterone that is bound to this globulin cannot really dock into cells and exert its influence. So that is the difference between total testosterone and free testosterone. And while both of these are important, the research is showing that free testosterone is quite a bit more important for overall health and symptomology. For me, I like to see both total testosterone and free testosterone levels at a good level or optimal levels if possible. But definitely, if you have to pick between one or the other, looking at free testosterone is going to be a bit better. In addition to that, those changes on the blood test, there was some changes in the symptoms that were looked at, the quality of life survey. This focused a little bit more on sexual function as well, which is one of the many reasons that people are using pine pollen. So we wanted to narrow in on that. So this survey it was 10 questions overall, but 5 of these looked at quality of life, so energy, strength, endurance, enjoyment of life, happiness level, and activity/sports ability. Then the sexual function was basically achieving and maintaining an erection for penetration, maintaining that erection, and then satisfaction with the sexual intercourse. So narrowed in a little bit on this, and this was basically a hybrid of some surveys that have been used by doctors and such, and in various other studies. So let's get into the results. Well, first, the mechanism or the method. Basically, they were tested before using the pine pollen tincture, and then after 8 weeks of using it, just our standard dosage of 1 milliliter twice per day, done for 5 days on and 2 days off. That cycling is important to keep the hormones kind of guessing in there. And we definitely saw some improvements. This was the survey scores went from below average. Each of those questions above was rated on a scale of 1 to 5. And then at the end, these people were in the above average zone. And here we see a decrease of 1.7 points in the sex hormone binding globulin. So here you can see these stats available for all the different people. With the questionnaire, you can see that these, if you understand p-value, these are highly statistical significant. So there definitely was an increase in abilities in this. Now, on the total and free testosterone, there was not a change in this study on the total testosterone numbers. The average actually dropped down by 11 points, but this was completely not statistically significant. 3 out of 4 times this result would just be from chance. You see some people decreased here, some people increased. It really was all over the place here. But with free testosterone, there was a marked increase across the board. Some people still decreased, but overall with the 11 subjects, there was an increase in free testosterone of a notable amount. So a 6% reduction in sex hormone binding globulin led to a 12% increase in free testosterone. And this was statistical significance, the standard value being 0.05 that they're trying to reach in there, saying that there's less than 1 in 20 chance that this was just by chance, that most likely this was the pine pollen tincture achieving these results. What would have been interesting, right? We kind of built off the last study, but had we looked at free testosterone in the older men in this initial trial, even though they did see increases in total testosterone, likely free testosterone would have been even better, because this seems to be a mechanism by which the pine pollen tincture is working. So that's the basics of this. You can, of course, come in and read everything that is available. This is still a pilot trial. There's no placebo control. But again, to me, this is quite exciting because we didn't have any idea that pine pollen tincture would specifically be helping with free testosterone. But now we see that that is exactly what is happening in addition. And that is one of the things that is likely leading to the changes in symptoms and quality of life, sexual satisfaction, all of that. So, of course, there's a lot more detail on the website. I got a written breakdown of this article as well. And, of course, you can just head on over to our Pine Pollen Tincture page at Lost Empire Herbs. A lot more information there. You can check out all the reviews. Like, we already know this stuff works just based on the almost 500 reviews we have here, most of which are 5-star. We know this is working, so definitely check it out if you haven't tried it already. I'm guessing most of the people watching this have already tried this. But it's great to have even more science behind this, and there'll definitely be more in the future. We don't have a next study planned as of yet, but we're excited to share these results with you and spread it out and continue getting pine pollen out into the world.